All right, well, we're going to see as we go to the grassy patches of Erangel for the last 3 matches of the group stages. It's time to go there now with the casting duo of Godspeed and Toby.
Thank you so much, Tubbies. Thank you so much, Avenger. Yes, over to Erangel we go 3 times before the group stage will be over. Godspeed, it's been great so far. You know which team I've been very pleased with in these last 2 matches? They're on 5.
Yes.
First, they pull off the majestic performance. Majestic. They pull off an impressive performance on Miramar. And now, despite the fact that not everything went their way, we saw them try and push up over that hill to take down Falcon. I mean, the great time push on their part. And for some other more aggressive teams, you'd think of that as a must-do. Something as obviously that's going to happen. For third on 5, we haven't seen it yet. So the fact that they dare bring it out now in group stage before it's like, oh, well, they tried to do it in the last game of losers bracket, that is very, very promising for any third and 5 fans out there.
Especially because I'm pretty sure you and I touched on them at the start of the day, like, we want to see this team be a little more proactive, this and that, and they have absolutely come up. I'm just going to say this as well. Can we please just have 2 Tagos? I would love 2 Miramars, 2 Tagos, 2 Erangels.
I casted my first
Maybe
Tago
3
ever,
Tagos.
and then I said that. Yeah,
I love that map. It is so wonderful. But as we do head back to the grassy pastures, as our wonderful let's call it, of Erangel, no early fights. Honestly, I didn't think we'd see much of this. Sarvam actually getting a little close, though, to the boys from Falcons.
Sarvam has school, and Sarvam has many Pachinkas. That'd be a pointless fight. A fight that I would not expect to see between 2 teams who can't really afford to take that fight. That's 4AM and Danava. 4AM currently sat at 46. Danava down below them by 13 points at 33. Now, with this said, Yasnaya is easily shareable with 2 teams. You can even, I mean, I've seen 3 or 4 teams in there before where no kills came through. Having said that, are these players willing to share, or does the ego play too much of a factor?
I mean, obviously, Danawa knows that this is 4AM's main drop. Maybe it was a symptom of the plane being a little bit more to the northeast than they wanted it to be. But yeah, they're now sharing this city here with 4AM. So both teams kind of don't really need any early game mistakes at this point.
I mean, Danawa were able to get the hard spawn down by the diner and drove it west, so they have at least 1 car safe. Should potentially have 1 down by the garage as well. And we know there are plenty of hard spawns out towards the east too. So if both these teams want to leave, it is very, very doable. Now, as I said, having said that, it's not necessarily guaranteed that that's what's going to happen.
Exactly.
Genji were like, yeah, we're going north. Let's just fly.
It's actually a very early.
I mean, you know what? They loot up towards George, right? Normally they just go, you know what, we went from an alt drop spot, we're just gonna go up and take our main drop spot. No one's up there. I mean, the plane path is literally not gonna allow for anyone to be up there. So, you know, I wouldn't be surprised to see Gen G fly all the way to shooting range, Severny, Georgia Pole, something like that, and just come in from there. You're like, this is fine. The only issue could be that this is way too early in the game for loot crates. They have to fly across the entire map of players. There might just be trouble, but of course they are pretty damn high up in the air, so it's gonna be hard to hit.
I would be absolutely shocked if anyone was able to knock them. I'm not going to rule it out, right? It could happen. Now, that would truly be majestic. But, I mean, as you said, they're going to go to South George, North George, wherever they want. There's going to be plenty of vehicle spawns up there. None of the players or any of the other teams are going to be anywhere near that because of the plane path. And so, yeah, I don't hate this at all. You know what? Might as well go early and get to exactly where they want to go.
Yeah, we'll see where they end up jumping off as we have our eyes on Team Falcons. A team who, I don't want to say had a higher hopes for, because right now they're set at 50 points. It wasn't exactly the day 1 that they would have wanted, but today has been way different. 2 finishes inside the top 5. We saw a 10-kill performance in the previous game, and with any other LATAM team that I've ever had the pleasure of casting in PUBG, whenever they get just a little bit hot, they are practically unstoppable. So do not allow Falcons to get things going, because they will come hunting.
Essentially becomes a fission reaction there. As you said, it's just a spark that they need, especially for that roster. I absolutely love those boys, and their ability to bounce back and keep that, you know, kind of level mental is what's actually so impressive about them specifically, which is why they're one of the best teams, if not the best team in Latin America.
Sure are. Sabe trying to creep their way further forward. It's not been their group stage so far, but of course with 3 games left to play, and us theory crafting that the cutoff is going to be around 50-some points, it's still within reach. Soju, though, I've heard 1 car, heard 2, now he's the 3rd. How long is he going to stick around for? Because 17 Gaming is pretty widely spread out, so I'm surprised that he hasn't opted to leave it. Having said that, here he comes. Global Army is going to spot him instantly. Good thing for him, he's going to be able to live for the scan runoff, and I think Soju should do the same thing. Yeah,
Suju at this point needs to back off. He knows that as well. He's the only member there that would really be able to fight this, and so he's going to get Nastasia and just back off, as nobody is anywhere remotely close. Is the reason why a lot of teams are starting to come in Pochinki is it's dead center circle, Toby.
Yeah, it is. It's a bit surprising, though, that we see teams try and vie for it. I mean, of course, I'm not expecting to see Sabe go further than where they're currently set. Maybe they'll try and take control of the garage compound to the northeast as well. We know that they like to play this aircraft. They've done that, and so in some of their best Erangel games, they have played out from exactly here and just slowly fought their way down when the circles have gone north into those fields. They've had some really, really good games from this exact spot, so it makes sense that they'd go here now, but I wouldn't expect to see more teams than just them go Pochinki this early on in the game.
The rest of the teams are starting to find, a comfortable home here in the circle, as this one is really not one to be gate-kept. As you called it, Genji in that northwest area, looting South Georgia, and they are going to take their sweet time, as they also have Everest to go up to if they want to scout, which I'm sure they will.
When have you ever heard of a team say, so we landed military, then we looted North or South George, and then we went to Pochinki? Like, how often does that happen?
Covering pretty much the whole map.
You want to stop by Milta Power now that you're at it? I mean,
might as well go Zarki at that point. Maybe get a little piece of loot up there.
They've had 2 full flights. That's pretty impressive. But yeah, Genji up in South George.
And E-Arena actually have a nice little split there at Chopsticks, just to the west of Pochinki. But we are going to go straight into an interview with Norns.
ทีมหนึ่งมีทีมนาวีนะครับมาแจมแล้วก็โดนไทโรปิดด้วยครับก็เลยรู้สึกว่าไม่ได้เสียดายอะไรมากครับก็เดี๋ยวคืนนี้เราจะไปทำแผงนะครับแล้วก็เรารู้ว่าทีม DDT นะครับเขาย้ายจุดลงไปแล้วก็คือมิรามาเราก็จะโล่งครับแล้วก็ทำให้เราอุ่นใจขึ้นว่าพรุ่งนี้เราจะเล่นง่ายกว่าเดิม
I love that. We had 0 regrets.
No regrets. Is that weird tattoo image of the guy with the nickname?
Yeah, no regrets. Yeah. Oh, speaking of regrets, Tycon wishes he wasn't where he was. Is now another member, though. Actually, look at this. Trades back and forth, and Gustav and Fex all of a sudden find themselves very much alone.
Back and forth indeed. Tycon, the absolute power player from the previous game, is gonna fall in just like that. Access denied from the east. Cerberus loses a heavy hitter from the previous one, but they completely shut down FaZe Clan.
That's okay. Tycon said we still have him ass.
I just lost 6 points in
I was just
1.5 seconds.
I was waiting for that realization to hit you as soon as Gustav went down.
Damn it, guys. Just stay away from each other.
That is kind of the issue. Don't worry, my team is in shambles today as well, as these boys here, 4 a.m. rotating in on the east with Sonics hot on their trail.
What a setup, though.
That was
from Cerberus. You saw them already sat there on the trees, and we've done it plenty of times before. These APAC players, or at least the majority of the teams that play with any, like just the smallest inch of confidence, they will do everything they can to ambush. And what makes them even more scary is the Cerberus is set at 101 and are looking to potentially go to the very top of the group stage leaderboard. So
why not send a statement in first?
That's what I'm saying. If you're FaZe and you're ever looking to rotate west in a lobby that has Cerberus in it again, you're going to be thinking twice about going that direction.
Ooh, Tokyo Drift, they're clean. He actually gets away from DG there as he's not getting pelted by Rustin and Junior coming to help, but Pio now going for the trade, so there it is. They will find it.
Pathenbong is pulling up. We still have Thanadot here, and with the last player from Therodon 5 is coming into, as I said before, Therodon 5 starting to finally play with a little more confidence here. And we're seeing them fully commit to it. They get over and defend Rossi. They might just, more damage coming through on Pio. Might just be able to get him down too. DG is completely dead here, unless if Taemin can find a magic shot through the smoke.
Honestly, at this point, for now, I would say Pio just needs to kind of heal here, and they are going to regroup. I imagine DG is probably not going to be resable, as Thanadol's going to go for that flush, but look at this position from EJ.
Yeah, I was just going to say, do they even know that he's here? I don't think they do, and it's, oh my god, if they stop here for too long, EJ shoots a little bit early, but it might still be too much for them to do anything about the spray comes through from Thanadol. No, you don't. He he says, as he's able to take him down. Taman finally peeks on forward, finds the knock on one. Rosset is the last player on his feet, and he's able to get him with the last bullet in the chamber. The fadeaway shot to take him down, and now Thanadot, solo player, wants to get Hatawat up and alive so they can respond to this. But this fight has been turning back and forth in momentum, and now it's even once more.
And you said it, this has been a disgusting fight. They actually are going to be able to get DG up. As I say that, Pio now, the nade is going to flush him out. Pio on the other side of this, just trying to find an angle and get some points while he's at it.
Pio knows he has opponents right up above him, but still goes for the flush. Down below, he falls because of it, and now Thanadot peeks on over. They heard the footsteps down below, but the issue is with each, yes, exactly, they have to flush him. They cannot allow for him to feed in for a cross on where they're positioned. The jump up over reveals Taman, at least just for a brief moment, shoots towards smoke, but not going to find him. Finally able to get the kill, and that is Gen G down. And once again, it's Thanadol all the way through. We saw him on Miramar, and here he shows up once more.
That was so costly, though, for both teams. Obviously, Gen G going down, but now we're on the push here between Friendly Fire and Sonics. Sonics absolutely love to play these Pachinki bars, but Mime now with the Panzerfaust out in his hands.
And Strimsy has one too. I am just seeing team damage here across the board. If they both start firing these inside buildings, there's no way that they don't start taking damage in return. We'll see now as Nate's allowed on forward from Roth, as Americas finds one another.
The problem is sharing these is just actually, it's just not very feasible, right?
Not
Both
at
these
all.
teams want to get rid of the other. As DD team now coming into the trenches here just to the south, and then Suju just randomly driving through the field as well.
Just checking it out, you know, seeing what's happening.
What's going on over here, boys?
If he's not going to take damage, then why not go for a little tourist tour around the open
These
fields?
Barnes is so claustrophobic, Toby.
Yeah.
I hated it. I always hated fighting in these.
It's not good. Seems like there's a bit of a truce, though, coming through as Blue Zone Nates now. You know what? Blue Zone Nates and... I was just going to say, they're leaving now. Blue Zone Nates and Panzerfaust, that is a scary combo, because you use the Blue Zone Nate to isolate, and then because of the splash damage of the Panzerfaust, you just start lobbing them into the room next door, and you should be able to, if not find kills, at least enough damage that you're forcing them to heal and then make a play off of it. But if problems couldn't get any bigger now, here comes the push on forward. We know Pixel likes to put up vehicles in his buildings. We're trying to stay safe, but not going to happen this round.
Oh,
but look at the double damage! The double damage to stack.
Oh my goodness!
Pixel falls, but takes down the entirety of E-Arena with him.
One of the sickest solo plays I have ever seen. He knew he was going to die, yet he put the nade, the double blue zones. What a hero. And I also love the fact that Friendly Fire pulled off that. What an absolute animal Pixel is.
He knew exactly what to do. He had the entire house rigged to the teeth with explosives. And in case of something like this happening, where he was sat up alone, he said, you know what? I'm going down, but you, my friends, are going down with me.
That was almost a scene from Home Alone. The way that he had rigged that house for them to just fall. That was absolutely beautiful. Pixel, you sweet hero. You deserve your rest.
That is freaking insane. If we could go in and respawn a player just off of something cool they had done, Pixel deserves it off of that play. And you can be damn sure that, especially with the global, we're getting a replay of it. He already lobbed the two nades early. I saw him do, initially I saw him throw the blue zone indoor, and I was like, what are you doing, mate?
Yeah.
But now, double blue zone
Genius.
into nade. For any solo player from here on out, playing, whether it be plank houses, whether it be the compound that Pixel was just in, those sort of one-story buildings, everyone now knows the amount of damage that can come through with a double blue zone stack and the nade.
I'm giving that man the biggest high five.
Like that is going to be that sort of standoff is going to be called a pixel from now on.
Yeah.
That is literally going to be coined as a pixel if you're 1v4ing, taking them down with you. That was absolutely phenomenal.
Oh, congratulations, Pixel. You also have one of the best clips from the event so far, as Friendly Fire gifted as well as Sonics in that build, in those Pachinki barns, as the circle has centered up very hard. And then as we see to their south, DD team, the benefactors as well, sitting in those trenches. My voice is not going to last.
My jaw is still on the ground after that. That was so, it looks so chaotic, but it was so calculated.
Mm-hmm. That was absolutely, I almost wanted to call a mistake. Why not just take the firefight? But he knew that he wasn't going to win that. So instead of doing that, he jumped, he got the nade out of the doorway in the bathroom he was in. Again, that was the most calculated solo play I have seen in quite a while.
Yeah. Absolutely phenomenal. As the game has unfolded while we were going on a rant, or I should say a praise of Pixel, the circle has gone far east, and we're now going east of Pochinki, where many teams went in just before, and up towards the ridge line leading from Potato down towards the south side shoreline. So very difficult area to fight in, and look at the first team that gets here, 3rd on 5. They're just, I mean, maybe it's just as a whole APAC starting to perform, and then going, we can't be like the only APAC team not going out and doing crazy things, and now they're just feeling it. I'm loving what I'm seeing from 3rd on 5 right now, even though, sure, they only have 2 guys up at this moment. So far today, it's been a big turnaround.
Oh my goodness, that vehicle is on fire. Fenadol's going to make landfall, and that's going to be it. You know, why not? With the attempt, you have 2 members up, just go for it. Either way, I still agree that their on 5 has been wonderful coming into day 2.
They did drive all the way from ruins to where they died. I feel like had they just known that entirety of Potato was free.
I was going to just say, yeah, Potato Hill. I mean, the northeast of this is
space.
Completely open.
Exactly.
But, yeah, I mean, you have to imagine, right? Yeah. Coming in the slate, without the information we have, Potato Hill's probably taken.
And this is one of the interesting things, because of how the plane path came through, there's just no one wrapping in from that northern side towards the east. So plenty of space for these teams to maneuver should they go up there. The thing is, right now there are enough kind of guard towers to protect, even if a team tried to wrap all the way around, for example, for example, day trade, it's depending on where the next circle goes, that I'm not even sure they could get there.
Maybe not, but
also something fun that I just noticed off the map feed, Cerberus just sent Haisaki up with an emergency pickup. Teams have started doing this kind of UAV, the perimeter. If you're sat in the same compound for a long amount of time, and consider the fact that Cerberus is in a spot from where they can't see a whole lot while we're seeing Falcons and Dano shooting at each other. You fly up, you send one guy flying up in the air, jump out of the plane instantly, and then just fly back into the compound again. But he has enough time in the air to scout a bit of the area around him. For Cerberus, who can't see west because of the lay of the land of that compound, they just saw, okay, great, we have no one in the forest, which means we can push up, and that's exactly what Himas is already doing. So Cerberus, I mean, they're just playing really good PUBG, and with you know what, and with this circle too, now they know it's safe to move. This is a great small play, but very effective.
Beautiful heads-up play there. And as you said, they knew at the very least the area around them was clean. So yeah, sending someone up is really not that threatening at all, especially because they'd be able to cover any shots from any distance at that point. So love the play again. Cerberus just really showing up here at a global level in a way that we haven't seen before, and they are just wonderful. But I do want to see this continue after group stages as well. I do have to say that now.
Yeah, same. Savim, they saw Genji die early. They saw them probably fly up early, and now they're gonna get off of a massive hard shift, gonna get super gifted with a double compound down below. We do see Question Mark trying to wrap south around. They're gonna get themselves the first compound here as well. But for Savim, this is a huge play of emergency pickups. We're seeing more and more of this being used as the tournament goes on. But now 17 up against friendly fire. Now make that game PT up close.
The nade gonna find Little Ghost here as he was pretty isolated here. Game PT losing Hella in this, and Xiaowu at a pretty devastating angle. There's the problem for Game PT is there's really no one to shoot him off that angle.
Getting out of this city, especially down towards that southern side, when you already have the likes of Daytrade sat in the position from where they're going to ambush, really limit your opportunities in trying to take these fights. So Xiaowu seeing what he can get from the roof, but in the end, it's going to be forced to jump down.
At this point, yeah, Game PT is just going to hunker down. They're actually going to be able to recover Little Ghost as well, which is very beneficial as we see DraftKings going down and Daytrade as well trading it out. So Puchus will fall, and I'm not sure they can even get that res. And look at this question mark at the bottom of this, trying to third party as well.
Wanting to flex out again. The fewer people we have to worry about on our edge, the more we can focus inward. So I do not fault them for trying to make a play here. Doozy able to pull on up, push on over as Capitan has already fallen down, and that is going to be the entirety of Falcons down. So Doozy comes up, peeks on over, doesn't get any points off of it, but is now well aware there's a team eliminated just in front of him.
And question mark in a wonderful position, actually coming out, flexing as that compound is their base, able to take control of this hill. I love this play from question mark.
They're playing one circle ahead, right? They're saying if we have to leave this compound and get up that hill, if there's a team set up there, we won't be able to make that run at all because we're going to have the east side compound that we now know that Savim is in to worry about too. If we push them out before it even gets to that, we'll be much better off. So very smart heads-up play there by question mark.
And they've been doing this pretty much all event. I've actually been very impressed with the way, obviously they came in very highly. I think it was second place off of the qualifiers. They did very well, and now just continue continuing that momentum forward, which has been something that we were kind of a little worried about. Which question mark, as a question mark, were we going to see? But so far, they have been very impressive. Phil first specifically, as well as a doozy.
Definitely. We'll see now if 17 can make this great escape of the city, as we're seeing Friendly Fire take casualties in the kill feed. Xiao Wu trying to make the run on down. Xiao Bei there with him. Sushi will fall, so the IGL has been taken down as the circle swings straight into the open. And look at how few teams, if any, are currently in the circle. These edges are going to be lit on fire more than they already are.
Well, also, this you're seeing it right now. This forest is essentially just a giant bowl. So any of the teams caught in the middle are really going to be punished, as well as some of the teams on the north, because there is not that much cover, and it's going to be Cerberus actually with the only form of a hill in order to work with.
What better fight to have here than Danawa and 4am? They were both dropping inside the Snaya. They didn't want to take the fight initially, but here they are as Xiao Pian forces an 8 down the throat of Loki to now wrap further around. An Onyx solo play left alive. He has to pull off a hero play to do anything, but now Himas has spotted him from behind. It's so difficult to play this area without being seen from somewhere else. Very similar to the takeover match we just had. So hard to maneuver and remain unseen. But for now, at least other teams are holding 4am at bay.
Yeah, and Himas just taking shots at pretty much everyone from the comfort of his home, essentially, as 4am are just kind of huddled behind the rock. Goes Xiao Pian trying to get an angle forward so that they're all at least not within nade range, and they're trying to spread out. But the problem is, as you said, there's just so many angles you can be shot from, especially when you have Sonics on the other side of this ridge, as they're starting to now peek over to see what's going on.
Hearing the vehicles coming in ain't gonna make things any easier whatsoever, and that could not be worse time. Xiao Lu is down on his knees, and here comes the nade barrage. It's been looming for a while. Sonic saw the knock in the kill feed. They know there are kills to be found on the other side, and Tiggleton gets the double.
Absolutely amazing nade, and now they would love to pour over and finish off 4am. It's Win now taking the angle. Mime trying to flip, but the trade. Win, beautiful stuff from him. One member still left. It's going to be Xiao Pian in the smoke, 11 HP.
He is so wounded. Tiggleton is already flanking on the other side. The smoke's blooming there. It's going to help him out perfectly. Does get the first aid off, but it ain't going to be much. That smoke is going to be gone in a second, and the entirety of the team will be able to see him. There they go, 4am down and out. So the fight turned to be a draw between Danawa and them. We'll see if we get to see yet a fight between them, or a hot drop between them come next game.
The problem is, that's a beautiful recovery there, a nice fight there from Sonics, but they still have to move in, and they have to deal with Cerberus. So their fighting is not done yet, as we see Daytrade just kind of sending it into the center here, and honestly, this is probably their best play at this point.
Sure is. Just lay low and let everyone else fight around you. They've been set in a spot from where they could see this for quite a while. They were up on those hills, so they know that most teams will be forced to fight one another, at least for a little while longer. Issue is, here comes Sonics. Oh my lord, and here goes Sonics out of the server. Just like that, 3 players down. Belmont with the double. Himas there to help. This has got Napac written all over it.
And that was literally a case of timing. If Sonics didn't have as many knocks, they actually would have beat Daytrade here. But because of that, they were able to get in line and get 4 points off of the Sonics. And now, question mark, the team we talked about, already playing circles in advance with one of the better positions here on the west side at C9 dip.
Again, question mark. With them being able to force Daytrade off and move around them, they have this hill to themselves. And look at this shift we see in the bottom right-hand corner. They just got to stay inside this circle too. They're going to have a field day with the amount of targets they'll be able to shoot at. And now starts the sheep herding. You see not too much damage done on their part just yet, but they have been so effective in just showing presence, in forcing teams to go exactly where they want them to, so that they can play with the upper hand.
Sarvam really needs to start spreading out there and taking control. As a team in last place, they are just desperate in need of points. And they have a decent position to utilize, but they're just also afraid.
Yeah, not a whole lot they dare to do from down there with Cerberus on one side and question mark on the other.
You gotta take that fight,
oh,
right?
Dev, I mean, I agree. I completely agree. But Sarvam against 0 LAN experience on the team. There isn't that one guy that can go, guys, I've been here before. Let me get you guys corralled. Let me get the momentum going. They're all playing on their stomachs. Sat currently dead last on the leaderboard. Now Flash will go down as question mark finds 1. But yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. 4 alive, they have an arm in hand too. Sarvam has got to go out and make a play here.
Meanwhile, the team making the plays. Cerberus now rotating all the way to the north, trying to get as many points as they possibly can. As Phil first is going to find a nice little knock there into Mamu. And DD team has been sitting in that trench for so long, finally having to move out, but it's too late. All these teams have angles.
Yeah, Sure do. Schiller trying to peek on over, has fired 1 bullet with his arm since he found it. Hopefully there'll be more of them fired before, or if he goes down.
With 19 bullets.
Here you go, Emo Pick. He's been using it a bit more, gets the flush with it as well. Almost gets his head torn off because he fires, but will be able to stay alive through it. Hasagi trying to regroup with his teammates as Himas falls down. Oh, Himas able to stay alive.
This is looking like a very good game here for Question Mark as they are slowly taking control and doing damage to all the teams, even in the north here as DD team trying to move in. And realistically, they have to know that there's a team on their southeast, and they're starting to wrap that way as well. Once they get rid of DD team, Question Mark is slowly going to take control of this circle, I imagine.
Sure are. Again, when does Sabim wake up? When do they crawl out of the hole they're currently hiding in and start engaging in this? They're being contained currently by the looks of 2 players. Haisagi does get flushed in the middle of the open as Emo Pick goes for 1 more this time around. And Deuce says, we've had enough. We've had enough of you. Now go away as DDT falls.
Not going to rule it out. There's a world where Duckmai actually wins this game somehow. And with the way that they've been playing, I wouldn't doubt it. But yeah, this is really all onto Question Mark. Is Sarvam finally going to wake up and just get something going? Even a knock from an Om, I mean, in their hands would be, you know, very beneficial. But again, they're just shying away from this fight. There's actually a way that they can start pushing on the hill of Question Mark, but they're just running.
And what a way it would be for Question Mark to finish off the group stage. They won the previous games. They can go back to back here, then feeling real good coming in to the next one. That would be absolutely huge with 2 games left to play still. Sabim peeks on over, instantly runs on down again. Again, they've been sat down here forever, so can't really fault them for not having any idea of what's happening over the ridge. But now they just got mega gifted with this circle shift. We'll see if they can make something happen, because so far it's been very quiet.
It's been quiet indeed. I mean, they had the opportunity again to sit right underneath Question Mark and get a play going. But look at this. I love the rotation.
Space.
They're just letting Question Mark take all the space. They're not even spreading out. They're basically sitting on top of each other.
They have 3 guys with level 3 gear. They have an ARM, they have a P90, and now, finally, with the smoke blooming, they're starting to push it forward. Keep in mind, Sabim, they took the, I mean, a very nice rotation when that first southern hard shift came through. They instantly went for the emergency pickup, went south. What I'm trying to say with it, they have taken little to no damage throughout this game. So they should have utility. They should have their helmets and vests in very good shape and be ready for this fight to come. But
I'm just not convinced that
the land jitters, man. The land jitters.
I mean, land jitters are one thing, but I mean, this is just I mean, again, this is next level passiveness, and Question Mark are absolutely starting to try to close this one out. Again, sending those 2 in the north, pretty much hurting all of Sarvam into this southeast corner.
It's a team on the bottom of the leaderboard with no LAN experience that are saying to themselves right now, this is the one game we have to bounce back. It's getting to the heads. That's what I'm reading off of their passive play style. Because I know Sabim as a somewhat passive team, but in the EMEA, they were fragging. If they dared to fight, they went for it. They put matters into their own hand. And right now, it seems like they're saying, Question Mark, can you please just leave us be and go find somebody else to shoot at?
Look how much control they've given up. I mean, this is insanity.
That's a tire attempted. Not gonna find it as Schiller tries to make the arm ring, but nothing found as Question Mark now, what was no space in the circle, has taken at least half control, if not full control, with the ball of Ridgeline that Sabim is currently sat behind.
Yeah, and Question Mark at this point, I mean, they are just very confident. They're slowly just closing out this circle and taking center control again. I mean, we have a P90 and multiple 3 helmets and vests on the side of Sarvam, so at least they have that going for them. But as I said, Question Mark very slowly closing the circle for themselves.
And it's going to open up a whole new discussion of yet another really, really strong EMEA team. I talked about it during the EMEA qualifiers of how the change of just this one player, Hobbits into Best of Luck, has drastically changed what Question Mark feels like they're able to do at any given match. Whether the odds are for them or even, they can now full on go for it.
What is he? He's just staring at his teammate. What is going on?
They're like, are you sure we go this way? Yes. And now they go.
I do think that they needed to leave one on the backside. They needed to leave an anchor, and yeah, they're actually...
We'll see. 4v4, plenty of utility left to work with. A 4-kill win ain't big, but if Sabim can get it, that's 14 very, very needed points for them, as they have now crept up from last place to 21st.
Yeah, this is...
They have no clue. This is the issue.
As a former, this is just baffling to me as a former player.
This is the issue. Because they haven't peeked over at any point, they have they've given
no
Question Mark
information
full control. They have no clue whatsoever where where question mark is, and on the other side, for question mark, like where are they?
I think
why are they not shooting?
Like, what is happening here? Did they disconnect?
This is
madness.
Yeah. This is something I've not seen in a long time, and especially coming out of EMEA. And you can see question mark know that technically they're supposed to be the team in the worst spot, but they're like, wait, they're continuing to give us space to maneuver. So slowly moving on forward as Sabim now, what looked to be them grouping up and pushing together, have opted to spread things out once more.
They've at least started to spread out now and started to somewhat peek over this ridge. And again, I don't fault question mark at all for playing like this because they've taken a majority of the control now. We are starting to see Sarvim kind of poke forward a little bit. The one thing I'm very curious about is actually how much utility, how many smokes specifically does question mark still have?
Yeah, exactly. It's a very, very open field and a plateau effectively on this top for them to have to traverse through in the end, because we are ending in the very middle of these two teams. So,
and this is going to be a slow road, Toby. So
you think so? Yeah. What makes you say that, Godspeed?
At this point, I mean, they're just going to be waiting for the center circle. No one is going to be making a move. Again, question mark have done pretty much what they were supposed to do. So nades on the hands of all three of those players, and they're starting to throw those and get the damage potentially out. Maybe fish for a knock with these grenades.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was a nice attempt. There's only so many trees up close, and for a brief moment there, Schiller was in that exact spot, but saw it early, saw three players look his direction. I was like, yep, they're probably going to lob some nades forward. So nice reactive play from Schiller, and now smokes are starting to be deployed. Should allow for Sabim to move further forward, but again, what's going to come of it?
I feel like we need to slow down our commentary.
Ooh, that's what we're doing. Maybe that'll gonna
smokes coming out from the deuces. It's almost like a game of golf.
Oh yeah, at least it was. Now we're reaching a point in which
a little bit of a crescendo. I guess.
We're building into it.
Maybe building into it. Yeah.
Building into it. Sabim, they're like, if we can't see you, you can't see us. They're just gonna go, you know what? We have barrels and we have a P90. Let's just smoke everything off and joust.
Even at these distances, I'd like to see Global just kind of take out as many, maybe take some shots. But yeah, regardless, nades are now being returned. Some damage onto Dante. As that nade lands right on top of Global, he's going to heal in that smoke. No issues there for him. Sheila as well, taking some damage. But yeah, this is now just a smoke-filled battlefield for the center.
Global Army trying to hold this angle, trying to host the side, but you can see Vesterlock is done with this. It's like, guys, come on, we got a game to play. We can't just sit around and wait for this long. They've used this zone really, really well to move for the forward. Sheila does manage to find the first one. Here comes the peek over the top of Global Army, able to get the second, third one. Those go down in favor of Adusi, so knocks on both sides.
Now Dante looking for that outside angle. He's going to find it, and it is now just down to a 2v1. As Baron Peak is just prone on his belt. Excuse me, Sheila's still low. Now it's Baron Peak, and he's just sitting in the smoke.
Trying to fend off alone here, but Baron Peak in the end will win this one as somehow Sarvim, in the most unlike Sarvim fashion, racks up a win. And you can see them, they're like, okay, this was one. Now let's get things going. But this was one of the most, I mean, maybe also just because it was a huge contrast to every single game we've seen in this tournament so far. Sarvim clearly not comfortable on land yet, but hopefully this win can get them there.
Yeah, I mean, we've obviously been harping on them quite a bit here, and I'm hoping as well, as you said, that this is going to start to at least help them build that confidence.
Definitely.
Question mark, I mean, yeah, some mistakes from them as well, but they were at least trying to be a little proactive there. Yeah, either way, Sarvim will take that game.
We'll take it. 14 points, 14 very needed points as they try and crawl their way further up the leaderboard. We are going to head over to an interview in just a few, so curious to hear what they have to say off of the game as we will go over there. But for question mark, I mean, the polar opposite, huge performance from QM in this match, isolating on the western side against Stage 8, coming up on the hill and just taking full control.
Yeah, and that's the other thing that we talked about as well, is just the fact that they were playing so many different circles ahead, but we are now going to be heading to the highlights as well as the death.